A nurse escorted a young man to an old man's bedside. "Your son is here," he whispered to the patient. He was heavily sedated due to the pain of his heart attack, and he vaguely saw the young man standing outside the oxygen tent. He held out her hand, and the young man wrapped his fingers tightly around it, squeezing a message of encouragement. The young man sat all night holding the old man's hand and speaking sweet words of hope. The dying man said nothing as he held on tightly to it. As dawn approached, the patient died. The young man put the lifeless hand he was holding on. The young man waited while the nurse did what was necessary. When she finished her task, the nurse began to offer words of sympathy to the young man. But he interrupted her. "Who was that man?" he asked. The surprised nurse replied, "I thought that was your father." "No, he wasn't my father," he replied. "I've never seen him before in my life." "Then why didn't you say anything when I took you to him?" he asked the nurse. He replied, "I also knew he needed his son, and his son wasn't here. When I realized he was too sick to know if I was his son, I realized how much he needed me.